Hi, Simon from Leysbrook. Quick conversation on rent reviews. Now, you'll be amazed at the amount of landlords who don't review their rents, especially if they manage the properties themselves or even have agents and don't get the properties actually reviewed on a consistent basis. Now, your rent should be reviewed on two occasions. One, when your contract is due for renewal, and secondly, if it's on a periodic tenancy, then it should be done on an annual basis. Now, in terms of rent reviews, what tends to happen is, and this isn't generalizing too much, it's easier not to have the conflict than to have the conversation. As in, if I up my rent, will I upset my tenants? They leave, so it's actually financially counterproductive because I wanted an extra £50 a month. He's now left, so I've got a void which will cost me more than £50 a month, and I've got agents' costs of finding new tenants, blah 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 blah, which I get. But the point is that realistically, it's not fair that you're trying to capitalize on an investment that you purchased. So your rents will go up and down. Sometimes you'll be in periods where your rents are lower than they were before. Sometimes your rents will climb a lot higher, and you need to move your averages with that. So the way to position it is trying to create it as a win-win for your tenant and yourself. So to say to the tenant, for instance, if you had a property that you are letting out for £700 a month, and the rental market clearly indicates that it's 750, pretty much dead on. So you could let it all day at 750. Then approach the tenant and ask, say to them, look, the rent's due for review. I've had a look at it. The market has increased, and the properties, similar properties, are going for 750. But look, what I'll do is, as you've been a good tenant, you're looking after the property. Why don't we meet halfway so that it's a fairer, I'm not upping my rent totally, and obviously you're not having to pay the whole increase, so we're sort of meeting in the middle type of attitude. Now, in 99% of cases, tenants will be more than happy with that arrangement. It's fair for the tenant because they're getting an increase, but not as high as it could potentially be. It's less hassle for them to try and move. And at the same time, you retain a good tenant and you have got an increase of your rent. So that is a way of presenting it to your tenant in terms of trying to avoid any conflicts. But it's imperative that your rent is reviewed on a continual basis because your costs as landlords are increasing all the time. Various things are coming into place, the tax changes, legislation, costs, and all these things that you have to do. So it's important that you maximise the returns on that investment. Otherwise, it becomes a liability rather than your asset, which is not the last thing you need. And property long term always does great in terms of performance. I hope it's been useful. Any questions? If you're looking to do a rent review and want to talk through maybe how that can be positioned, give me a call, drop me a message. Or if you haven't had a review with a tenant for too long and you know you should, and you want to know what the market's doing, look, I'm more than happy to help. So get in contact and I'll speak to you soon.